All right, so listen to this.
Okay.
2 astronauts are stuck on the International Space Station.
Wow.
Way longer than planned.
Yeah.
Because of problems with the Boeing Starliner.
Really?
Yeah, we're talking multiple helium leaks and malfunctioning thrusters.
Oh, my God.
This is not just like a flat tire or something.
No.
You know, you sent in this really interesting YouTube video by Drew Vrothy.
Yeah.
It breaks down the whole situation, and we're going to unpack it together in this deep dive.
Sounds good.
It's going to be a wild ride, so buckle up.
It really is a captivating story, you know? It highlights just how complex and risky space travel is, especially with new technology like the Starliner.
Exactly. So let's set the scene. It's June 2024.
Okay.
The Starliner is on its way to the ISS.
Right.
Should have been a quick 8-day trip.
Yeah.
But things immediately start to go wrong.
Right from the get-go, there were delays.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the initial launch date had to be pushed back a whole month?
I do.
Because of a faulty valve?
Oh, wow.
And then on June 1st, the computer system automatically aborted the launch just 4 minutes before liftoff.
Oh, my gosh.
Talk about a close call.
Can you imagine the tension?
Yeah.
I'd be questioning my whole career.
Totally.
But finally, on June 5th, they get off the ground. And amazingly, the docking with the ISS goes smoothly.
Yeah, that was a big win for Boeing, you know?
Yeah.
Made them the second private company after SpaceX
Right.
to successfully dock a crewed spacecraft with the ISS.
Wow.
But that's pretty much where the good news ends.
Yeah, because then we get to the helium leaks. Not 1, not 2, but 4 total.
I know, it's crazy.
Helium is so crucial for the propulsion system.
It is.
Especially those thrusters.
Yeah, they need it for all those delicate maneuvers in space.
Exactly. And then picture this. They're approaching the ISS.
Okay.
And they discover 5 out of 28 thrusters aren't working correctly.
Oh, no.
Yeah. They were overheating because of direct sunlight.
Wow.
So we've got leaky helium wonky thrusters.
Yeah.
At this point, I wouldn't even want to open the microwave, let alone attempt spaceflight.
I hear you.
So who are the brave souls strapped into this spaceship roller coaster?
Well, we've got Barry Wilmore.
Okay.
He's already spent over 178 days in space.
Wow.
And then there's Sunita Williams, an absolute veteran.
Oh, yeah.
Over 322 days logged.
That's incredible.
And she's also the second astronaut of Indian origin.
Right.
Which adds another layer of interest to this already captivating story.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So with all these technical glitches popping up faster than mushrooms after rain, NASA decides to play it safe.
Yeah.
Keep the astronauts on the ISS until they can arrange a more, let's say, reliable ride home.
Reliable ride home.
And that reliable ride, ironically, it's going to be provided by SpaceX.
Oh, wow.
Boeing's rival.
Okay.
Using their Crew Dragon spacecraft sometime in February 2025.
Interesting.
And what's fascinating here is that this isn't the first time the Starliner has stumbled. The video dives into its past, highlights 2 previous test flights that also didn't go as planned.
Right.
Remember the orbital flight test in 2019?
Yes.
Complete flop.
Total flop.
The Starliner couldn't even dock with the ISS.
Right.
Because those pesky thrusters failed to fire at the right time.
It's like they're cursed or something.
I know there was a software glitch messing with the timing. Then in 2022, the second test flight did manage to dock.
Okay.
But guess what? More thruster problems.
Oh, come on.
So this pattern of recurring issues starts to paint a picture, doesn't it?
It does.
Makes you wonder, are these isolated incidents or are they symptoms of a larger issue within Boeing?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
And the video doesn't shy away from exploring that.
Good.
It delves into Boeing's wider track record, which, let's be honest, hasn't been stellar in recent years.
Yeah, not so stellar.
We're talking about the 737MX disasters.
Right.
Which are still fresh in everyone's mind.
Yeah.
And then this year, that incident with the Alaska Airlines flight.
Oh, yeah.
Where a door literally broke off mid-flight.
Oh, my gosh.
Turns out it was just loose hardware.
Really?
Bolts that weren't tightened properly.
Wow.
But that kind of oversight, especially coming from a company like Boeing, raises serious concerns about their overall quality control and safety culture.
It does.
Right? It makes you question their ability to handle these complex, high-stakes projects.
Yeah.
Especially when human lives are on the line.
Absolutely.
And speaking of human lives, let's shift our focus to the 2 astronauts who are literally living this story.
Okay.
They might be stranded, but they're not exactly roughing it up there.
No.
The ISS is actually quite spacious.
It is.
Bigger than a 6-bedroom house with all the supplies they need.
I mean, that's good at least.
They have a gym in space.
They do. They have a gym.
What?
It's not all doom and gloom.
That's amazing.
They're safe, they're comfortable,
Good.
and they're keeping busy with research and experiments.
That's great.
But 9 months is still a long time to be away from family and friends.
It is.
And they're facing the psychological challenges of isolation and confinement.
Absolutely. And let's not forget the mental pressure of knowing that you're relying on this complex technology to keep you alive, especially after experiencing those malfunctions.
For sure.
This situation is a true testament to their resilience and professionalism.
It really is incredible how composed they've been throughout this whole ordeal.
I know, it's remarkable.
They've handled every challenge with grace and a focus on completing their mission.
Right.
Despite the unexpected circumstances, it makes you wonder what's going through their minds being up there, looking down at Earth, knowing their return is uncertain.
It really puts things in perspective, doesn't it?
It does.
This isn't just about technical failures and corporate blunders.
Yeah.
It's a story about human courage, adaptability, and the profound drive to explore.
It is.
Even in the face of adversity.
You said it perfectly.
And that brings us to a crucial question.
Okay, what is it?
What does this incident tell us about the human element of space travel?
That's a great question.
Yeah, we often get caught up in the technological marvels.
You do.
But at its core, space exploration is a profoundly human endeavor.
It is.
We'll delve deeper into that in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, picking up where we left off, the human side of this story is just really what grabs you.
Yeah.
Here are these two astronauts living through something most of us can't even fathom.
I know.
And they're doing it with such incredible composure.
It makes you think, what does it take mentally and emotionally to be an astronaut?
Yeah.
To face those risks, the isolation.
Right.
Now, this extended stay, all while maintaining a professional demeanor and carrying on with their duties.
It's just mind-blowing, the level of resilience and adaptability.
Totally. Remember, they were initially prepared for an 8-day mission.
8 days.
And now they're looking at 9 months.
I know that's a whole different ball game in terms of psychological preparation.
It's like being told your weekend camping trip just turned into a year-long wilderness expedition.
Totally.
But, with better Wi-Fi.
Exactly. And on top of that,
yeah,
they've experienced these technical malfunctions firsthand,
right,
which adds another layer of stress and uncertainty.
For sure.
It makes you wonder about the long-term psychological effects of this kind of experience.
It's something we don't often consider when we think about space travel.
No go.
We get so caught up in the technology and the science.
Right.
But there's a human cost, an emotional toll that we're only beginning to understand.
Absolutely. This incident really brings that to light.
It does.
It forces us to think about the support systems astronauts need, not just for their physical well-being, but their mental health as well.
We're talking about long-duration missions in confined spaces far from home.
Right.
With the constant awareness of the risks involved that takes a toll.
Yeah.
And we need to be prepared to address that.
And this is especially important as we set our sights on even more ambitious goals, like a mission to Mars.
Oh, yeah.
That's not just a 9-month stay.
No.
We're talking about years in space.
Wow.
With even greater challenges and unknowns.
We can't just send astronauts out there and expect them to be superhuman robots.
We can't.
We need to invest in research and develop strategies to support their mental and emotional well-being.
Yes.
Both during and after these missions.
Absolutely. It's not just about getting them there and back.
Right.
It's about ensuring their long-term health and well-being.
Now, zooming out a bit, this whole Starliner saga also raises some fundamental questions about the future of commercial space travel.
It does.
Is this a bump in the road, or is it a sign of deeper systemic issues?
It's a bit of both, I think.
Yeah.
The idea of partnering with private companies like Boeing and SpaceX was to make space travel more efficient and cost-effective.
Right.
But it also introduces a new set of complexities and risks.
Right. We're seeing the trade-offs play out in real time.
We are.
You have NASA with its decades of experience and expertise.
Right.
But they can be slow-moving and bureaucratic.
They can.
Then you have private companies, which are often more agile and innovative.
Yeah.
But they're also driven by profit.
They are.
Which can sometimes create conflicts with safety and caution.
Absolutely. It's a delicate balance. And this incident shows us that we're still figuring it out.
Yeah.
We need to be realistic about the challenges and the risks.
Yeah.
And make sure we have the right safeguards in place to ensure safety without stifling innovation.
The Commercial Crew Program, which this mission was a part of, is designed to encourage private companies to develop safe, reliable, and cost-effective ways to transport astronauts to and from the ISS.
Right.
But it seems like the program still has some kinks to work out.
Absolutely. This incident is a wake-up call.
It is.
It highlights the need for more rigorous testing, better oversight, and a constant focus on continuous improvement.
Because ultimately human lives are at stake. And we can't afford to compromise on safety.
We can't.
Now, another layer of complexity here is the question of accountability.
Okay.
When things go wrong in a commercial spaceflight, who's responsible?
Right.
Is it the private company, or does NASA share some of the blame?
That's a tricky one.
It's a bit of a legal and ethical maze.
It is.
It's like trying to figure out who's at fault when a self-driving car has an accident.
Exactly. The lines of responsibility can get blurred.
Yeah.
And it's a question we're going to have to grapple with more and more as commercial space travel becomes more commonplace.
We need to establish clear guidelines and protocols.
We do.
To ensure that accountability is upheld and that lessons are learned from these incidents so they don't happen again.
Absolutely. It's about finding a way forward that balances innovation with responsibility.
Yeah.
And that prioritizes the safety and well-being of the astronauts who are literally putting their lives on the line to advance our understanding of the universe.
And speaking of pushing the boundaries of human knowledge, let's zoom out even further and consider the bigger picture. What does this incident tell us about the state of space exploration today?
Right.
Is it still worth the risk, knowing how complex and challenging it can be? Okay, so we've gone really deep on the technical glitches and the human drama, even the legal stuff. But let's step back for a second.
Okay.
And ask that big, almost philosophical question. Is space exploration pushing these frontiers? Is it really worth it when things can go so wrong?
It's a question that's been asked throughout history, right? Yeah. Every time humanity takes a big leap, there are risks and setbacks, even tragedies.
Right.
But there's also this drive to explore, to discover, to push the limits of what we think is possible.
And it's not just about scientific knowledge, is it?
No.
Bragging rights. There's something deeply inspiring about seeing humans venture out into the cosmos, overcoming these challenges, showing us what we're capable of.
It really taps into our collective imagination, doesn't it?
It does.
It makes us dream bigger,
Yeah.
Think beyond just our earthly concerns.
Right, like the Apollo missions.
Exactly.
Even with their risks, they ignited this passion for science and engineering that we still feel today.
We do. And now with private companies like SpaceX getting involved, it feels like there's this new energy, a sense that space travel might not always be just for governments and these giant agencies.
Right. It's like a new era of exploration is beginning.
It is. But the Starliner incident reminds us that even with all the advancements, space travel is still far from routine.
Yeah.
It's complex, it's dangerous, and it demands this incredible level of rigor and attention to detail.
It's like this constant dance between pushing the boundaries of technology while also never forgetting the human cost of failure.
Exactly. We have to be honest about those risks.
Right.
And make sure we're taking every precaution, learning from every mistake. This isn't just about nuts and bolts. It's about protecting the lives of those brave enough to actually go out there.
And I think that's where this whole story circles back to Sunita Williams and Barry Wilmore.
It does.
Their situation, stuck in space for much longer than planned, highlights the human element in all of this.
It shows that even when technology fails, human resilience and adaptability can step in.
They're up there facing the unknown with courage and grace.
They are.
A true testament to the spirit of exploration that drives us.
And it's a good reminder that space exploration isn't just about rockets and robots.
Right.
It's about the people who dare to dream.
Yeah.
Who push the limits, who make the impossible possible.
So to answer your question, is it all worth it?
That's a tough one.
I know.
I think it's a deeply personal decision. Yeah. But the fact that we keep asking that question, that we keep striving, that we keep pushing further, suggests that the human spirit sees something really valuable in this pursuit.
There's a sense of wonder, a sense of possibility. Yeah. Reaching for something greater than ourselves that kind of transcends the risks and the setbacks.
Absolutely.
And that, I think, is what makes space exploration so compelling, so inspiring, and ultimately so very human.
Beautifully said. And for those of you listening and pondering that same question, I encourage you to dig deeper, explore these stories, learn from these incidents, and form your own conclusions.
That's fascinating stuff.
Because the future of space exploration is being written right now.
It is.
And it's a story that we're all a part of.